And you can either feel really negative about that and say some really mean things to yourself, like, "Oh, you're fucking disgusting. I don't even know how your husband is attracted to you. Look at you. You're so nasty. Why are you so fat? Oh, I feel bloated." That's really mean. And it's reality. You are normal, and a lot of other women do the same thing. And either you're going to continue to do it and continue to do it and say super mean things to yourself, or you hire a coach who helps you rewire those thoughts. Are you tired of looking in the mirror and hating what you see? Tired of wondering if your stomach looks fat during sex, or avoiding being naked altogether because of the way you talk to yourself? Are you tired of being confident in public while secretly picking yourself apart in private? Good. That's why you're here. Welcome to Your Unapologetic Life, your go-to guide to feeling confident in your body, comfortable naked, and in love with sex. I'm your host, Morgan Barkis, author, speaker, exotic dance instructor, and empowerment coach for women. I earned my master's in marriage and family therapy while stripping to pay for graduate school, and guess what? I loved the work so much, I danced for over a decade. Now I coach women who are ready to flip the negative self-talk, rewrite the stories that have kept them playing small, and finally feel powerful and sexy in their bodies. All without strict diet plans, soul-crushing workouts, or another Cosmo-style 5 tips for the best sex of your life list. This isn't positive affirmation confidence. This is confidence embodied. This podcast isn't about becoming someone new. It's about stepping into the most unapologetic, pleasure-filled version of you. If you're looking for a judgment-free space to talk about sex, beauty standards, trauma, pleasure, and power, you're in the right place. And if you're looking for sugarcoating or PG conversation, this probably isn't the show for you. Whether I'm flying solo or bringing you raw, honest conversations with powerful women, every episode is designed to help you ditch the insecurities, reclaim your body, and start living like the unapologetic woman you were meant to be. So turn up the volume, listen at 1.5 speed while you're doing other things, and strap in for this wildly unapologetic ride, because I'm a crazy driver. Girl, there are some real life things happening right now. I don't know if you can hear it. Did you just hear that? I got the dishwasher going. It says it's a 1-hour cycle. It's not. It's never 1 hour. I don't know why it takes longer than an hour, and it says it's an hour. It's not an hour. Anyway, I didn't feel like doing dishes, so I put all that in the dishwasher, got that going. My neighbor, bless her, sounds like she's vacuuming. We actually hear a lot of each other's business. When I lived in Florida, because most of the buildings are made out of concrete blocks because of hurricanes, you don't hear your neighbors. It's amazing. You don't hear anything. You don't hear them talking, having sex, walking around, nothing. In the Midwest, where everything is made out of wood, you hear everything. I told my neighbor one day, I'm like, y'all know I'm a scream sneezer, right? You must have heard me scream sneeze. I know some people don't like scream sneezers. I am a scream sneezer, and I'm proud of it. Anyway, what else is real life over here? Sitting here sipping on a little bit of Golden Monkey. Best beer ever. It's not for everyone. Can't find it a lot of places. Whole Foods does carry it, gratefully. Small town Wisconsin, where I'm from, the liquor store carries it, one of the liquor stores. Anyway, just keeping it real over here so you know where I'm at. All right, so I was so grateful to be invited to this intimate event. There were 7 of us women total. I believe there were 9 spots available. So a couple people must have not shown up. Day of, which is typical. Still, great turnout. There were 7 of us gals. It was the coffee and conversation kickoff event. Hopefully there will be more. It was awesome. I love a structured event because, one, I like a smaller event because then you connect with everyone. Whereas if I go to a bigger event, to be honest, I'm an extroverted introvert. If you put me on stage or you need me to facilitate a workshop, a class, I got you. Give me the microphone all day long. Let's do this. Throw me into a cocktail party and I don't know anyone? Yikes. A networking event? Yikes. So this was sort of a networking event, also just a time for some women to get together and have coffee to kick off the day. It was pretty early in the morning for me, so I went into the city early. I live outside of Chicago, so I drove into the city. I went to the Soho House, did my workout, and then walked over to this coffee shop in the West Loop. And it was delightful. It was structured. It was casual as people trickled in. Once everyone was there, we sat down. The gal who had organized it basically had this sheet of paper for us, and we could introduce ourselves, what our business was, anything we were challenged with, something that we would ask the group for help with, and then something that we could give or offer to the group. And with that piece of paper, we would take notes on the other people as they introduce themselves, which I think is brilliant because one, it's hard to remember people's names and exactly what they do and how we can help them and help each other. I say all that to say it was my turn. I actually volunteered to go first. I thought, why not? I'm usually the person like waits and goes last. I thought, let me kick this bad boy off. So introduce myself. I am Morgan Barkis. I am the founder of the Confidence Stage, and I help women love how they look. No diets, no fillers, no fixes. P.S. I just worked with somebody on Etsy to get a sweatshirt that says that with my QR code to my Instagram. I'm so jazzed. I'm going to wear that thing all the time, everywhere I go. So if you see me in that, there you are. Although I do love fashion, so I'll wear it and I'll try to wear it with different things. Obviously, different bottoms, different shoes, different necklaces. I'll jazz it up. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. All right. So I was with this group of women, introduced myself, said what I do. And when it came down to what I can give, I said multiple things. If you have an event going on and you want someone to come and run a workshop, I don't charge. I would love to do it for free. So if you are looking for someone to come in and do, be a speaker or do a workshop, like an hour, female focused, confidence focused, I'm your gal. It was really awesome. Everybody started writing and kind of like made audible, like, oh, okay, great to know, because it's sometimes when you have an event and you're hosting events, you're looking for sponsors and you're looking for speakers or someone to add to the agenda, if you will. So anyway, I put that out there. And then I also said, and if you go to my website, you can download my free gift. It is a short video titled "The Simple Way to Stop Worrying If Your Stomach Looks Fat During Sex." And they all looked at me, then they looked at each other, and there was like some giggling, and also a number of women said, "Wow, that right there is real life. That is real talk right there." And I said, "It is. It might not be your stomach in particular, and a lot of women are in their heads worrying about how they look. In particular, during sex, it's vulnerable. You're sharing your body with another human. You are naked, more than likely, to some degree, if not completely naked. And if you are just fixated on some flaw, quote unquote flaw, and you're in your head about it, you're certainly not in your body and getting that orgasm and truly enjoying this moment, whether again, solo sex or partner sex, I'm talking about in particular, where you're concerned about some flaw and you're in your head and not in your body. And it was, I guess for me, I say all this to say it was confirming that this is what women are thinking about. This is a symptom of, I wish it wasn't like that, and it is like that. And sure, tell me how to change that because it has absolutely happened. And however that looks for you, I'm sure when I say the simple way to stop worrying if your stomach looks fat during sex, you're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember the time, the place, the person. And again, maybe it wasn't your stomach, it was something else. I just know for me, not my stomach so much as other things. Like one time I was with someone and I noticed cellulite on my ass and upper thigh. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know I had that much cellulite. There you go. And it didn't stop me. It stopped me for a second and I observed it. I didn't attach anything to it though, in terms of worthiness or um I wasn't concerned that he would see it or he would care. I carried on because, again, I didn't have any attachment to it. I didn't assign it any worthiness measure, if you will. And there's a very quick way, a four-step way to get out of your head and back into your body when that comes up. So if you're interested in that, I want you to go to morganbarkis.com, go to free offer, or there's a pop-up box that pops up and you could just enter your email and you'll automatically get the free video that way. Also, up top on my website, morganbarkis.com, you'll see free offer. You click on that, it talks more about the video and what you'll get with the free offer. And enter your email, your name and email, and you'll get instant access to that video. And you can reference it at any point. Though there's also a accompanying PDF if you want to. So, you got to think about how people learn, right? People learn through, they're either visual learners, auditory learners, or kinesthetic learners. I'm sure we learn all three ways. And there's usually a dominant way, just like the love languages. We have all 5 love languages. And there's usually one that you're more quote unquote fluent in, or that you express your love in that way. And so it is more fluent to you. Um, Same with how you learn. And so what I wanted to do was, there's the visual aspect because it's a video. You'll see me talking. There's the audio, obviously. So for me personally, I'm audio. And very often I listen to trainings and then I listen to the replays while I'm getting ready doing other things. So, like for instance, just a little bit ago, I did some yoga. It's like a 15-minute flow that I have memorized at this point, and I listened to a business podcast while I was doing that. This morning, I listened to. I'm a part of a mastermind. So if you're familiar with Chris and Lori Harder, they have a mastermind for people who are earning under $500,000 a year in their business. And so I'm a part of that mentorship collective mastermind. And gratefully, we have calls every Tuesday, and sometimes we have bonus calls on Thursday. And then on an online platform called Circle, we can go back and listen to those replays. And I put those babies at 1.5 speed while I'm taking my shower and blow drying my hair and getting ready for my day. So I really take in things auditorily. So anyway, depending on how you like to learn, I say that because I also have an accompanying PDF to that video. Because if you are more of a kinesthetic learner, you can memorize that and then practice it. So there is a 4-step process to get out of your head and back into your body whenever you're having a negative thought, whenever you're fixating on something that you see as a flaw. And now this doesn't have to only be in the bedroom. So as we were going around and sharing in this networking group that I went to on Friday at that coffee shop, one of the gals shared that she posts things. She's like newly getting into her business and she is posting educational content and just letting people know that she has shifted out of her former career and role and now is starting this business. And it's awesome. She is a financial planner. She's starting her own firm for women who are choosing to be childless. And so they can be single or married and they're childless and they want to understand their money and their assets and where to invest and all the things. So she is starting this business and she's starting to put herself out there on the LinkedIn. And she said, every time I post, I feel stupid. And I said, what do you mean by stupid? Because you're clearly not stupid. So say more, and she's like, it's more embarrassed, like what are other people going to think? And, da, da, da. And there's such an easy way to turn that around. And again, if you go to my website and download that free offer, it's a short video and it goes through the 4-step process to very, very quickly turn that around because it really is just rewiring your thinking. It was the same thing, like, when I went to therapy after a breakup a few years ago, there were a lot of feelings that I was having, and he helped me go through the process of going from the feeling back to the thought. What's the thought? How do I deal with that thought? How do I change that thought? And then what are the steps? So there's a process that you can go to. And just like working out, the more you practice it, the better shape you are and the quicker. So for instance, if you are very, very out of shape and you're like, wow, I'm gonna start working out. Awesome. Moving your body every day, even 10 minutes, if you go for a walk every day, great. Get your body moving. The more you do it, the more it becomes a habit, the more in shape you become. And then let's say you take a few days off and you didn't go back 3 weeks. Does that make sense? So, for instance, this was years ago. So years ago, I was 30 years old and I had a breast augmentation. I got some big ass titties. I wanted humongous boobs and I got some humongous boobs. It was great. I no longer have them. I had my explant and full lift. Um, Not because I was having any kind of health issues. I didn't have back issues. I loved my big boobs. They were fantastic. We had a great time. We made a lot of money. It was fun. That being said, I think there's a time and phase in life. Our bodies as women change daily, if not weekly, if not monthly. And there are also phases in our life where we want different things. I wanted huge boobs and I went and got them. I say that. Going back to the point I was trying to make. You'll notice if you hang with me, girl, you're gonna notice how many times I go off on tangents, and I try to bring it back. I'm bringing it back to I had to take 2 weeks off of working out. And at that time, I was a dance and fitness instructor. And when I came back, because I was already fit, the foundation was there. When I came back to teaching, one of my students, she says to me, "You didn't get fat." And I was like, "No, girl, I didn't get fat." Because I still was eating healthy. Now, did I lose some muscle mass? Absolutely. Maybe my endurance went down a little bit and it got back quick because I already had the foundation. Now, if you're starting out, it's going to be much more difficult. It's harder to stay motivated. So you have to lay out the workout clothes. Maybe you got to get a personal trainer in the beginning. So you need someone who's accountable. That's why you have a coach like me, right? If you're trying to get fit, hire a personal trainer, hire a coach. If you're trying to reset your mind and think different things, hire a coach. That way you have someone that you can ask questions, you can get motivated, you have a cheerleader, you have someone holding you accountable. And then a coach sets you free because you're like, I got this. I did that years ago. I hired this gal that I worked for. I taught like pole dance and pole fitness classes out of her studio. And she and her husband also had a gym. And so I said, would you be open to training me? Because I knew how to work out. I didn't know how to work out. Like she trained me in a way that sticks with me to this day because I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's why you hire a coach. And then when you get better at something, then you run off and you do it yourself because you got this. And then if you need to go to the next level or you want to learn something new, you hire a person again, some sort of expert to get you through. In terms of mindset stuff, if you are looking at a picture of yourself and you're like, "Ugh, I hate how I look," you hotel mirrors, those babies are unforgiving. You get out of the shower and the mirror takes up the whole room and the lighting is extra bright and you're like, God damn, like the okey doke. I already didn't want to see this much of myself naked this early in the morning. Here we go. And you can either feel really negative about that and say some really mean things to yourself. Like, oh, you're fucking disgusting. I don't even know how your husband is attracted to you. Look at you. You're so nasty. Why are you so fat? Oh, I feel bloated. That's really mean. And it's reality. You are normal. And a lot of other women do the same thing. And either you're going to continue to do it and continue to do it and say super mean things to yourself, or you hire a coach who helps you rewire those thoughts. And they're still going to happen? Absolutely. You don't think I sometimes have those thoughts? Absolutely. I walked into a gas station one day and I was like, whoa, this lighting, I look old. Yikes. It happens. And when you have a certain amount of training, you can turn those thoughts around very quickly. You can learn to not have attachment or worthiness tied to them. They are not a measure of your success, your desirability, your worthiness, whether or not you're visible. I heard something today. Somebody was saying that even when you're like out of your 20s and going into your 30s, there's always already the messages that you're aging out. It's like aging out of what? Who says? And it is what it is. Like we are as women getting those messages. And then you have someone like me who's coaching you so you can talk about the things that you're thinking and these things you're doing because you think you need to. And we talk about that. Do you need to really? Tell me more about that. And tell me what you're saying. Okay, cool. Is that absolutely true? So there's ways of working through this. And just like a fitness coach or a personal trainer, you're going to get more and more fit. And so then when you're working out, you're going to get results quicker. And if you can't take a couple days off and you get back into it, you're going to pick it up way faster. You're not starting from beginning again. And you have to start somewhere. I think about the old days way, 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 way back. I mean, I'm 45 now. I was probably 19, 20 to 19, I think. My mom and I, we watched Oprah religiously. It was every Monday through Friday. Loved Oprah. And Louise Hay, who has since passed, she has a book called You Can Heal Your Life. That was a game changer for me. That was where I started. That was my starting point to learn how to reset my thoughts because I was mean to myself and I had to learn how. And then, you read more books and I've had coaches, I've had therapists, like everybody I learned something from. Now I get to bring all of those resources to you in one person. I am the person who went through the eating disorder. I am the one who went through horrible body dysmorphia until I was 26 years old. And I'm not saying it completely went away, and it changed big time when I started dancing. That was a game changer for me. Now, am I going to tell you to go be a stripper? No. And I can bring those lessons to you, and we can talk about the things that I learned and how it relates to your life so that you are not scrolling and getting fed stuff that says, well, maybe you should do this body sculpting thing and maybe you should try this workout and maybe you should get on the GPL ones or the GLP. What are they called? I don't even know. There's a lot of pressure right now to look a certain way. There was some body positivity for some years. Now we're back to Skeletor. What is going on? I don't know. Has nothing to do with you. And that doesn't mean that stuff is still going to come up for you. Body stuff, whether you're in the locker room and you're facing the lockers and you're changing as fast as possible and you hope nobody walks in because you don't want anybody to see you naked. I see it. I get it. When I see those girls in the locker room, I want to turn them around and give them a big hug and say, you are beautiful. You are normal. You are worthy. You are enough. And girl, I fucking love you. Let's get naked together. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Like I said, when I was at this networking event and I shared my free offer about my video, the simple way to stop worrying if your stomach looks fat during sex, and the reaction. I mean, it was eyeballs, it was audible, it was like the comment, it was validating in that this is speaking to women and I know how to help. Been there, learned how to talk different to myself, to rewire my thoughts, and to have zero attachment to some of the observations about my body. Because now it's interesting. I've got the cellulite, I've got scars, I've got the crow's feet, I've got the 11s. I don't even know if it's an 11. It's just one big line down the middle of my eyebrows. It's not really 11s, right? It's just a one. Well, I got that. And I have zero attachment to it. So, and I'm not saying if you're going to do Botox, you do you, girl. And why do you want to do that? What is the attachment to that? Because I'll be the first to tell you, I wanted huge boobs, so I went and got huge boobs. It wasn't because I was feeling insufficient. It wasn't because I was trying to be attractive to someone else. I was trying to be attractive to me. I had a smoking hot dance instructor who had huge boobs. They were lovely. And I was like, I want a pair of those. So I went and got some. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's if you're going to alter your body and do things, do it because you want to, because it feels good to you. If you want to get the lashes, you want to get your hair done, you want to get your nails did. I do that. I get highlights in my hair. My hair is naturally not this blonde. It was when I was a little kid. Then I went to high school and I got dishwater blonde. So now I get highlights because I like that bright blonde. I work out. I drink a lot of water. I prioritize protein because I want to take care of my body and keep my muscle mass and stay lean. So I'm not taking care of what I got. And I also have a bunch of flaws, quote unquote, that I have no attachment to. And it feels really, really freeing because it wasn't like that for me for many years. From 19 years old, well, the end of my 18th to into my 19th year, all the way until I was in my 30s. That's a lot of time wasted that I hated myself and said really nasty things to myself. I even joke, there was, if you Google my name, I Google my name occasionally. I'll look at some of the images. It's very interesting what images are attached to me sometimes. Anyway, there's an image that always comes up if I scroll down far enough on the Google images of me in college when I was about 145 pounds, which is not crazy heavy on a 5'3" frame, a little thicker than I wanted. And it was unhealthy weight. If I was 145 like muscle, that'd be different. I was 145 chunky monkey from Ben and Jerry's ice cream. 145. It wasn't cute. I didn't like it. And I used to be like, oh my God, why is that picture on there? Why does it always come up when I search my name? And I'm like, I love that girl. I remember that girl, what she was going through, some of her struggles, why she was eating that pint of ice cream on the daily, that chunky monkey. Now I can't eat it because I'm allergic to walnuts. Yeah, the allergies came later in my life. Anyway, so now I don't have this, it was embarrassment and, I don't know, it was cringy and like, I was ashamed, I guess. When I would see it, I would think, that's not how I am now. But that's how you were then, Morgan. Give yourself some grace. It's okay. Our bodies change on the daily, on the weekly, on the monthly. That was you then. And I remember what that girl was going through. And that's not what she's going through now. And it's okay that she was going through that then. So anyway, it's really been a shift over the years of resetting how I talk to myself. And again, it doesn't have to just be about your body. It could be anything where you're putting yourself out there and immediately you have this feeling. What is that feeling? And I can teach you how to take that feeling back into your thoughts and change that thought, and then the practice in which to go through that. All right. That's enough. I've talked long enough. You know me. All right. So make sure that you go over to morganbarkus.com, get that free gift, a simple way to stop worrying if your stomach looks fat during sex, and or fill in the blank with your stomach with it, whatever quote unquote flaw that you have. And also, I'm on the YouTube. This podcast is on the YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, really honestly, you could search Morgan Barkus and find my Morgan Barkus Instagram, Morgan Barkus Spotify, Morgan Barkus YouTube. Girl, you can find me. I'm very grateful that my name is easy. And way back when I was smart enough to buy my website domain, morganbarkus.com. I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I bought that website domain and I've had it since 2013. All right, until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. If today's episode hit you in your heart and left you feeling empowered, please do me a favor and leave a review on Spotify or Apple. It helps more than you know, and it makes it easier for other women to find this show and feel less alone. And if you're feeling bold, screenshot the episode and share it on your stories or DM it to a girlfriend of yours. Getting the word out is how we grow this unapologetic movement. This podcast exists because women like you are pure magic. And feeling confident in your body isn't something you earn, it's something you decide. You can keep holding yourself back, or you can start living out loud, Dress how you want to dress, chase the dreams that light you up, prioritize your pleasure, and fully enjoy the delicious, messy, powerful experience of being a woman. Until next time, get at me in the DMs. I always love hearing from you.